after a short break on the calendar, we have arrived here at the very quaint medieval town of Loket. All the riders know that this hard-packed track will be a real challenge for them. Last year we saw 2 new overall winners at the end of the weekend. In MX2, Dylan Ferrandis got his first GP victory of the season, and in MXGP, Max Nagel won what was his last overall victory. After some time off, batteries have been recharged and the riders are ready to fight yet again for the 13th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Czech Republic.
Brian Sue and Jeremy Van Hoornbeek take us for a lap around Loket. The long, wide start straight peels off into a 180 uphill off cambered left, then through 5 waves. You can triple all the way to the end on a 450 if you get the timing right. Arriving in turn 2, easy on the gas, braking bumps and acceleration bumps all through there will start to appear as the weekend goes on. And then into turn 3, dropping downhill over the short tabletop under the Ippon banner. And then through the final turn. This is the Monster Energy finish line jump. But of course, we will continue with the lap through this tight right, heading the short straight, 30 meters point to point over the Tag Heuer step down, a pretty spectacular part of the racetrack, braking hard into the left. And then uphill, you can see there's a smooth line to the outside, or you can double onto the top from the inside. Past pit lane, hard on the brakes into this 90-degree right. Again, a choice of lines, low on the right, high on the left, double single into this tight right. Slightly off cambered, then heading uphill, stepping up into turn 12. The long sweeping left falls away on the camber on the exit. And then we have that little step off through this right-hander again, falling away from right to left, stepping down once more. The second of the Monster Energy tabletop jumps takes us right the way down to the bottom end of the circuit. There'll be a lot of overtaking maneuvers through there. On the gas, up and over the city jump, through a 180, and then through here, this left-hander. Again, multitude of passing opportunities. Uphill, 90 meters over the Monster Energy tabletop, landing down the other side, a lot steeper in reality to what it looks on TV. Through the 180 left, over a short tabletop. Just a couple more corners to go, but before that, we head uphill into this bank right-hander. Don't leave the door wide open there, otherwise you leave yourself open for attack. The final turn on the racetrack leads us uphill and back onto the start straight to complete the lap here at Loket.
Since last year we moved up to the MXGP class. The riders, they work together, train together, and also with the crew, the whole team, yeah, we have a great atmosphere.
I've been back in MXGP. It was a challenge. We have different conditions every weekend, so I've been growing up in Europe, so I know what to expect. But the class is a tough one, you know. I knew it was going to be challenging, but I'm happy to be a part of it and having some pretty good results so far.
Switching over from KTM to Yamaha was quite an easy task, really. It was quite a nice transition. I've rode the Yamaha before, so felt quite comfortable on it from the get-go.
To be honest, I think 450 is a bike that feels pretty well to my style. I just had a good winter preparation with the team. We had time to test the bike and make it the way I wanted. So it's just the class and the guy you're competing against that makes it tough.
We had an amazing start to the year with the victory in Indonesia, but after then I did struggle a little bit just with the setup of the bike. I went a little bit in the wrong direction with the engine character and also with the suspension setup. And just before Latvia I managed to get a set-in that I was really happy with, and unfortunately that's when I had my first injury, breaking my finger. It's been tough to just be sitting at home and not being able to be involved. It's just nice, fun, playful atmosphere in the awning with the mechanics, with Arno. Being back this weekend and around everyone just gives me a big smile on my face.
Sean Simpson is a really experienced rider. He really likes rough, bumpy, sandy or muddy tracks. He has a really nice character. He works really hard. Arno, he's talented. He likes more hard-packed tracks.
It was a really cool setup having Arno as a teammate for this year. So we knew each other from back in 2012 when we both rode Yamaha with Steve Dixon. Could definitely learn a lot from him, and I'm sure he could learn a few bits and bobs from me too.
We definitely helped each other during the winter, spent a lot of time riding together, and I think it was really good. I hope we can do this again this year and step it up for the team.
We have the 18 bike here this weekend at the GP in Loket.
I think they made a really good step with this bike. They come up with a new chassis, I mean new engine, everything is like bringing it to another level to me. I think they really stepped it up. Also we have an electric start that makes it easier under race condition, and that's something that I'm happy about.
We tested a lot and the bike is really good. We can expect a lot this weekend.
Looking forward to the end of the season, I should be strong and ready for Assen, and that's a track that I know I like, and maybe even just try and peak for that one. If I can do that, it would be a great end to this year. With peace of mind, riding for the same team again next year would be really enjoyable to end 2017 how we started it, with some good results.
A huge downpour moments before MX2 Race 1 left the track underwater in part, but it was Thomas Covington who grabbed the foxhole shot for the fourth time this year. But it wasn't long before Jorge Prado found his way into the lead. Brian Bogus, Paul Jonas, Benoit Paturel all gave chase in what was a frantic opening couple of laps. Bogus and Jonas had their say, and so too did Thomas Covington, eventually finding his way past Jorge Prado on lap 2 to put his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna at the head of the field. Brian Bogus made one or two mistakes on his HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM. That allowed Paul Jonas to go through into third, and then he gave chase to his teammate. Julian Lieber had one of those races. He fell down to 37th and would eventually come back to 18th as Thomas Kjær-Olsen got the better of Jeremy Seewer, who was having one or two visibility problems. That pass put the Dane in 6th. Benoit Paturel had his moments as well, lost 2 places when his engine stalled. Kjær-Olsen then found his way up the inside of Bogus to get himself into 4th, and that's where he would stay on the number 19 Husqvarna. Jeremy Seewer eventually found his way past Brian Bogus to get himself into 5th for Suzuki World MX2. And the pass for 2nd eventually came. Jonas down the inside of his teammate with about 6 laps to go. Thomas Covington, though, was too far gone by then in what was a fast drying circuit. Lap times started to tumble. Riders gained in confidence, none more so than the 64 of Thomas Covington, who racked up his 3rd race win of 2017. A near perfect racetrack for MX2 Race 2, but Ben Watson was sent tumbling to the deck halfway down the start straight. This time it was Conrad Muse who grabbed the foxhole shot, the first of the year for him on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. But by the time they got to the bottom of the first downhill, Prado and Jonas had both gone through into the lead. Wasn't long before Jeremy Seaward joined them as well. The Suzuki World MX2 rider was in 3rd. Belandrum was in 4th, but not for long. He was soon passed by the Wilvo Yamaha of Benoit Paturel in what was shaping up to be a great race, until Jonas found his way past Prado. Despite their efforts, the chasing pack couldn't do anything about Paul's Jonas, who opened up a comfortable lead, leaving Jeremy Seaward to try to find a way around the young Spaniard. He tried on several occasions, but he was denied at every opportunity. Eventually, he caught the rear wheel of the KTM. He went down and took Paturel with him. They lost a couple of positions in the process, and they had to do it all again. One rider that had to work his way through the field was Thomas Covington. The winner from race 1 made a bad start, and he was charging his way through the pack, picking off riders at will as he got his head down in pursuit of a podium place. Bogus made a mistake that allowed Jeremy Seaward to go through on that yellow Suzuki. That put him up into 4th place, found his way past Belandrum, and then went after Jorge Prado all over again. It was a real case of deja vu for the Swiss rider on the Suzuki. Paturel was also on the charge, following Seaward through. And this pass here from Thomas Covington on his teammate Conrad Muse ensured that at the end of the moto, Covington would have done enough to get himself on the podium for the 3rd consecutive Grand Prix. There was still plenty of action out on track though, between Prado and Seaward. With about 6 laps to go, Seaward got close. He made a pass, then he stalled, then he hit neutral. Eventually he found his way around the outside, got himself into 2nd. By then, Paul's Jonas was too far ahead. And Seaward lost more vital points in the overall classification in that charge for the MX2 title. But it was Jonas who was victorious, winning his 12th moto of the season. He took the Grand Prix win as well. Seaward and Covington joining him on the podium here at the Czech Republic in Loket. Of course, Jonas extends his championship lead over Seaward, Olsen 3rd, Paturel and Lieber rounding out the top 5.
For the past 2 GPs, one rookie has exceeded expectations. Arminas Jasikonis, also known as Shorty, took his first qualifying race win and podium last round in Portugal. Let's see how he feels after these results and how he'll face the rest of the season.
In Ottabiano it gave me a good, strong feeling, and Portugal just kind of gave that little extra. Actually, every GP I go, I feel better and stronger in my head, and then I feel like I can fight with those guys up front. After winning the qualifying race, it was really good. It put me quite some pressure for a Sunday, because yeah, with winning, for sure you want to go on podium, but I made it best out of it, and it's been a really nice moment. This year was first year full season, so it was quite tough, but I mean, it's something what I was always dreaming.
Jasikonis side by side with Jeffrey Hurlings.
This outside to be quick.
The bottom of the hill.
Got it.
Great move there.
Watch Jasikonis here around the outside if he holds it on.
Great move that from Jasikonis. He does go through the third.
I think my goal is actually get as much experience I have for the next year to really start fighting next year for points and everything. But I don't look so much to result. I just want to take best everything, get as much experience that I'm ready for next year.
As the MXGP riders charged down the start straight for race 1, it looked like Tony Cairoli or Tim Geiser would grab the Fox hole shot. They both ran wide though, and it was Clement de Sal who grabbed the hole shot for the second time this season. Cairoli was in third briefly, then fourth, and then Tonus went through to push him back into fifth. He found his way back past the Swiss Wilvo Yamaha rider though, and went after Gauthier Paulin. As Max Anstey fell on the opening lap, he would last about 2 more laps, would not score points in moto number 1. Geiser led the way, de Sal was second, Paulin was third, Cairoli fourth, and just behind them, Romain Fevre was struggling to find his way past the 911 on the Monster Energy Kawasaki of Jordi Tixier, but he ran wide and allowed Fevre through. The Monster Energy Yamaha rider was then in 6th place. Geiser led for HRC Honda, all the while closely pursued by the 25 of de Sal. Jeffrey Hurlings didn't make a great start, but the Red Bull KTM rider eventually found his way past Tixier to go into 8th. And behind them, Nagel, Strybos, digging their way through the pack as well. The double moto winner from last year, Max Nagel, wasn't having a great time on his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. He was caught and passed by Strybos and pushed into 10th. Hurlings really found his speed in the second half of the race. Found his way past Fevre and Tonus, and eventually came home in 5th. Meanwhile, up front, Tony Cairoli and Gauthier Paulin were pretty much banging bars. Didn't succeed on this occasion, but Tony Cairoli eventually found his way past Paulin. A sweet move around the outside in front of one of the main fan zones. Got the 8-time champ into 3rd. By then, though, de Sal was too far ahead. In 2nd, the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, number 25, couldn't do anything about Tim Geiser either. And Geiser showing us that he really is back to form after the injuries that sidelined him earlier on in the season. Geiser, though, crossed the line for the first time up front since Trentino, race 2. There were one or two anxious moments right before the gate dropped for MXGP Race 2, but it was Tim Geiser who made sure of the foxhole shot this time around. That was the 4th time the Slovenian had crossed the line in 2017. Kai Rowley was rapid out of the start as well, quickly into 2nd, just behind him Clément Dessau and Roman Fevre. Paulin was 5th, Jeffrey Hurlings was 6th in the early stages of Race 2. The track conditions absolutely perfect, and the scene was set for a great showdown between the giants of MXGP. Geiser led, but he was pushed by Kai Rowley, and on lap 6, the 2:22 on the Red Bull KTM eased his way past the HRC Honda of Geiser and looked to try to pull away. Behind him, though, these two, Gauthier Paulin and Jeffrey Hurlings, were banging bars. Dessau was in the mix too, and so too was Roman Fevre, in what was a titanic scrap for 2nd. Eventually, Dessau made his move on Geiser, got himself into that 2nd place. Paulin tried his hand, was denied by the Slovenian, had to wait a few laps. Jeremy Van Horbik was having a quiet ride. He eventually came home in 7th place. Fevre and Hurlings were at it once again. Hurlings eventually found his way past, put the squeeze on the Yamaha rider at the bottom of the hill, went after the Frenchman, Gauthier Paulin. KTM power versus Husky power over the hill. Hurlings got his rear wheel down on the ground earlier than the Frenchman. He charged through to take 4th away and then set up what would be a great battle with Geiser. The two Frenchmen, Paulin and Fevre, were duking it out as well, but Paulin on the 21 would win out that battle to come home in 5th, ahead of the Motrans Yamaha of Fevre in 6th. And that battle came to an end when Fevre was forced wide by a back marker. Jeffrey Hurlings seized the opportunity with both hands. He charged up the inside of Tim Geiser, almost left the defending champ on the deck. Either way, Hurlings was through into 3rd. Dessau had another solid ride on his Monster-Energy Kawasaki and was poised to take 2nd. But this weekend, it was all about Tony Kai Rowley. Race win number 9 for the season. And he's getting closer to that 9th title. Kai Rowley on top then this weekend, Dessau 2nd. Geiser back on the podium since round 5. Tony Kai Rowley and Red Bull KTM this season is just getting better and better. Next stop will be Lommel in his backyard in the deep sand of Belgium.
It was a difficult weekend for everybody here in Loket, but at the end of the day, the KTM squad got the job done, winning their 6th victories of the season in each category. Jonas in MX2 is 47 points ahead of Siwa, and Kai Rowley has extended his championship lead to 92 points. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the next round, the Fiat Professional MXGP of Belgium.